Jehovah Modimo wa Israeli, uri fala di tele fifila pili retaba hakaka are mukuna mela kajenu riba aturi ziba urapila kutlung. Amen. Yanamgela nonke all over the world, greetings. I am your host Usipose Tukamlambisi ugaba uciwasho uthithi bonosiko mntomlamba umnqosini umsuthu ngokwakhe, back again with another video, part 4. Yes, St. Paul Apostolic Faith Mission Church International. On the third part, I was narrating the story and the early years yaka ubaba Petros hlanyelo lesoja khanyago lesoja I beg your pardon lesoja Moloi. So I left on that part where he died on the 31st July 1951. Time it was 9:25. So that time and the day, it's a significant day to St. Paul because of Bairalim Sekopotso Saha and Tate. They always do Sekopotso Santate, and actually we'll share on the upcoming videos about how Sekopotso Santate is killing, how did it come about, and share information on that letter on how Sekopotso Santate is killing. But now I'd like to focus more on how the church grew under Ubaba Moloi, and sadly he never lived long, and he actually led the church for 13 years because of La Hopola 1926 Neitewa, then 1938 it was formally established. Now it was a church affiliate. So those were the difficult times for them, but they made it through. We need to share more of these stories. We're not sharing these stories to dishonor or ukdelela, but we share these stories to give people history to understand what is abantu babuyaphi. All the churches, I try to actually cover them without being biased, without being disrespectful to the leaders and the misebenzi yabo. I appreciate them a lot and I respect them, and I'm quite aware of the fact that ngimncane phakathi kwalezi ndaba, but we do with respect, and I'm doing the Lord's work. No one is paying me to do this, but it comes from within to share these amazing stories Baba Moloi. So actually something happened Baba Moloi makaqeda ukushona, and it was actually a very difficult time because there were fights now. Babanga bafuna ukuthatha isonto. The leader of St. Paul currently now, which is J.M. Moloi, spoke and actually debunked the myth that St. Paul, this one here, Apostolic Faith Mission International, iphuma kwamanye amabandla, whereas this one Sigibo, it's the original, and then other St. Pauls, they come from this one, St. called Apostolic Faith Mission International. So he was debunking that myth because people were actually confused with Tikwenzagalani, and he was setting the record straight, and he was on fire on that video. He was on fire. He was calling out people that they must stop with the lies because of a church is Sontoleli, Kreke ena ya kuhabo, yabo JM is the original St. Paul. And it's hard. People think Mdlalo is not Mdlalo. It's not a playground. It's very hard. But and they will steal it if abantu balele, if the family rubetse, and then they will take it. So I'm glad he's there as a pastor's kid, Banaba Baruti. This is the advice now to them. I'm speaking to them now. I'm calling them out to say that le ithute batswadi ba lena ba sa le teng, bo ramoholo ba lena, bo ntatemoholo ba lena ba sa phela, and learn. And le batho ba baholo rutang bana dipheko le sa phela. When an older elder dies, it's like a library burning. I have a problem with us, especially black people. We're not sharing these stories. Sambanazo, it's sad. And you find that Panabaha Basala Basokola, they're going around where else you should have taught them. And Lebanon, they should be serious and actually wanna learn. They must stop this thing, Yamabiala, drinking, doing all those bad things, and by embarrassing Babona, they should actually Libona live by example. They must follow the footsteps. If Baira snacks, they must go do it far away, because once Panavakreke they start doing all these bad things, but Tabisadira, your parents, because of Batwisadi Chaba, they're helping the nation. So imagine how many enemies, how many spirits they are evoking, and they are angry because of Batwisiwa Batuba. It's hard. The early lives, even Yagababu Moloi, it was hard for him. People never took him serious, but he persisted, he pushed. It's never easy. I remember that saying where they said my grandfather was walking 10 kilometers. My father was driving a Tez. Now I'm driving a Ferrari. So basically I'm saying that tough times create tough men. Easy times create weak men. So if you find yourself everything's sharp, don't, you can even create a struggle so that you don't lose that thing. Because if you're finding everything easy, it's easy for you to lose, and actually the cycle goes back to the suffering. Now this family was well off, the grandfather actually built, struggled, and the father actually was betanyana, and then now the children were driving a Ferrari, and actually those times they actually create now tough times cycle. So we must avoid that. People must avoid losing their legacy, which Abazali Baba built so hard. That's why I'm calling them out. They should be serious about this thing, be intentional, and stop in baloi when people buy little snacks. So we must not do that. So they were fighting to take the church after the death of Prophet Moloi, and it was sad, but the church persisted, and yeah, Yatsola Pili, and Leaders like PK came through. Now it's JM Moloi. So I think Upapa Moloi paved the way, Prophet. He paved the way, and he actually at the time, as you can know, Baruti, Papa St. John, St. Paulo, they don't normally go to theology, but he actually made plans so that they go to theology schools and actually learn the Bible, and others they went to correspond with the necessary institutions. So he really made a very positive impact, and that's why I'm taking my time and honoring the man, honoring Ubaba, who worked so hard to build St. Paul. So mga pegi St. Paul, they even kadipono bam Mozart, God communicated with Ubaba Moloi and told him to start the brass band. So izinto zemoya zisebenza ngendlela yazayo. Kitayelo walayelwa gore thoma brass band ka lebaka le le itseng. Then ke masole. If you can look at the uniform of St. Paul, especially the brass band, you see that these guys are soldiers. Soldiers, and it's a spiritual war. Ke ntwa ya moya, ba lwana ntwa ya moya. Ba rata diphepheng, batho ba phela ka diphala. So it's actually a good thing, and the church grew and went and was built in the SADC countries. And yeah, I just hope and pray that the current generation make the church grow and grow and grow, and stop, even though people fight because of, if you can see, even Lai Mamelodi after the death yaga Ubabu Archbishop Ubabu Shabalala Emma 17, things are no longer the same. Abantu abadala babahambile, things are no longer the same. That's why it's quite important to actually learn from prophets while they're still alive. They are not gonna be with us forever. People need to learn, people need to respect the prophet. But